Here we go again, season 2, episode 7. I hope everybody had a great week last week. All right, we are back. Mr. Bergando, a little bit of snow again today. I'm kind of getting over the snow.
I feel like I wake up every day and there's just more snow outside.
Yeah, and the forecast is possibly for a little bit more, either over the weekend or even into next week. So we are literally in a winter wonderland here in Iselin, New Jersey. So it's all good. It's all good. So listen, we're gonna get things going like right away, making her return appearance. We've got our senior super athlete, Olivia, who's here with the Mustang Sports Center. She's got all the latest news about all of our Mustang athletics teams.
All right, I can't wait to hear it.
The girls basketball team is currently 3-3, and our next game is on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Our team looks to have a bounce-back win against Saraville. The boys basketball team is also 3-3, and they had an exciting overtime win against Teaneck and travel to Monroe on Thursday. On Saturday, the boys will be home against Edison. Be sure to stream those games on JFKMHS TV on YouTube. The boys and girls bowling team are both 2-2, and the teams have Saraville and Piscataway coming up to improve their record. Ice hockey is continuing their solid season with a 6-2 record, and they will play Nutley next Monday. The girls and boys winter track open up their season on February 17th, and swimming will have their first virtual meet on February 19th. Good luck to all our winter sports.
Very nice.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Good recap. Okay, so continuing with our honoring of Black History Month, we have this week's presentation from our Diversity and Equity Days of Dialogue Committee. They put together another great presentation, so sit back and enjoy it. Another great job by that committee.
Good morning, Mustangs. We are the Diversity and Equity Committee of JFK Memorial High School, and today we're going to be talking about academics and education during Black History Month and what it's like for Black Americans in America.
On May 17, 1954, America finally woke up to a truth that had been killing itself for almost 200 years. In the Supreme Court case Brown versus Board of Education, the justices unanimously overturned the notion that the separate but equal principles set forth by Plessy versus Ferguson applied to the classroom. Doubtless, it was a major victory for people of color, but at that moment, it was only the beginning of a long race towards desegregation. It took 3 years between this landmark decision and the first public school integration. But it did happen, and it started with the Little Rock Nine from Little Rock, Arkansas. On September 4th, 1957, 9 brave students, Minnie Jean Brown, Elizabeth Eckford, Ernest Green, Thelma Mothershed, Melba Patillo, Gloria Ray, Terrence Roberts, Jefferson Thomas, and Carlotta Walls, tried entering Central High School in Arkansas, but they were stopped by the Arkansas National Guard under Governor Orville Faubus. Only 3 weeks later, on September 25th, and with the help of the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division, did the Little Rock Nine actually get into the classroom.
To further Black education, historically Black colleges or universities were established before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to serve the African American community. Today there are 107 HBUs, including Howard, Morgan, North Carolina A&T, and Florida A&M, just to name a few. It's so important for not only minority students to know about these institutions that were made specifically to cater to them, but it's also very important for our faculty to know about them as well. One time I went to the guidance office and suggested that they included a painting of HBCU just to promote awareness for the schools that produce the majority of successful African Americans, with North Carolina A&T graduating the most Black engineers and Howard and Xavier University together producing 92% of Black medical students. When we don't know about these types of higher education, we are doing ourselves an injustice. Not everyone needs to know everything, but I think it's very important to know about the opportunities that are available to students of color, especially when it comes to education.
There are many key African American figures that have changed the game in academia. It is with the great contribution of 3 Black women, Katherine Johnson, Mary Jackson, and Dorothy Vaughan, that the first astronauts were able to be launched into space in 1961 and also to the moon and back in 1969. Though these women were working hard behind the scenes at NASA, it is through their extreme skills in the sciences and their brilliant mathematical calculations that they were able to execute such a plan that NASA has been dreaming to carry out for years.
Garrett Morgan was the son of two former slaves and had little more than a grade school education. As a teenager, Morgan got a job repairing sewing machines, which led him to his first invention, a revamped sewing machine, and his first entrepreneurial venture, his own repair business. In 1916, he patented a safety hood, a personal breathing device that protected miners and firefighters from smoke and harmful gases. To avoid prejudice from his buyers, Morgan hired a white actor to pose as the inventor. Later, after witnessing a car and buggy crash, Morgan was inspired to create a traffic light that had 3 signals: stop, go, and stop in all directions to allow pedestrians to safely cross the street.
Another Black scholar and educator you should know about is Anna Julia Cooper. As a scholar, she was among the first Black women to earn her PhD, specifically in history and Romance languages. Cooper is considered to be one of the first writers of Black feminist thought. One of her works, A Voice from the South, by a Black woman of the South, has even become a classic African-American feminist text. Anna Julia Cooper became a high school teacher in Washington, D.C., while studying to earn her master's in mathematics. There, she taught math, science, and Latin. Later on, Cooper taught at Lincoln University, a historically Black college.
Many don't know Charles Richard Drew, or what he even did, but Drew was the first person to ever run a large-scale blood banking program, naming him the father of the blood bank. Attending Amherst College on a football and track sports scholarship, this is where his biology professor noticed his interest in medicine. But at the time, racial segregation limited his options for training. So his professor led him to attend a med school at McGill University in Montreal, which led him to Columbia University to become the first Black student to receive a medical doctorate. His interest in blood transfusions led him to find a way to separate plasma from blood, allowing it to be stored for a week, which was a huge breakthrough at the time since it was the 1940s and World War II was going on. His breakthrough saved countless of lives during the war, especially people in Great Britain at the time. He also went along to create the Bloodmobile, a refrigerated truck that stored and transported blood donations to where it was needed.
When talking about academics, it is important to mention literature. Language and written word is one of the main ways we are able to express emotion and meaning. Learning to read and write, something has been once borrowed off from African Americans in the past, now influences and inspires not only Americans, but people all around the globe. Starting first from the earliest Black literature and poetry, Phyllis Wheatley, an enslaved woman, created the first Black poetry from the US colonies despite not having a formal education. Then moving on in time to poets such as Langston Hughes and jazz poetry, a literary art form stemming from the hearts of Harlem. He addresses the American dream and its ideals, questioning, what happens to a dream deferred? Today, individuals such as Amanda Gorman and a recital of her poem, The Hill We Climb, at our most recent inaugural address. Her poem echoed the very definition of what it means to live in America, while reminding us that we still have much to do. The importance of Black literature will continue to be a beacon of light towards our future.
Though we've been making so much progress in recent years with more of the upbringing of Black scholars making their way and making their mark in the world, there's so much yet to be done in our community and in America as a whole. The American scholar system has so much work to be done, and we are only getting started. American schools don't have a set lesson plan regarding the Black community, and by doing so, it can help and inspire so many other students. American schools don't take into account of their students, and they don't teach them the important milestones that people of color have done before them. Many students feel undereducated regarding the important achievements that people who look just like them have made. Our schools, for the most part, have never been there for Black students and for every other student of color. And educationally wise, they need to make a change. The funding to educate the Black community is extremely low, and many of these students see no representations of themselves during history, English, or any other class. Schools don't need to educate their students about Black scholars and their achievements only during Black History Month, but needs to be taught all school year. Every month should be as if it's Black History Month, and schools need to step up and change their lesson plans to accommodate, educate, and represent their schools. Schools need to raise awareness and funding in order to educate all students about influential Black scholars and the work they have achieved and how it changed society. New Jersey and our district in specific have made huge strides towards giving Black students and students of color more representation during class, thanks to the Amistad mandate. This gives us the opportunity to provide a curriculum that honors their history and gives them hope for the future.
Thank you, Christine, for starting us off. Here's a huge gap between the diversity of students and the teachers that are teaching them. Only 7% of Black teachers in the United States are Black. And research has found that students of color, if they're being taught by a teacher of color, it benefits them immensely. And Black students who have just one Black teacher in elementary school are more likely to graduate, and they're way more likely to enroll in college. Obviously, everyone can see there's a lack of Black teachers. Speaking from personal experience, I've never had one. And going from kindergarten through middle school, there was never one in the building. It was only until I got to JFK that I even had one in the building. We desperately need more Black teachers, and they need to be given the same teaching conditions and chances and administrative support as white teachers, because they are at a higher risk to quit since they aren't given the same opportunities. Although there have been some setbacks, there have been many Black teachers who have caused an impact and broken barriers over the years. For example, our Middlesex County interim executive superintendent is a Black man named Kyle Anderson. As Christine mentioned, New Jersey has made strides to strengthen Black history education mandates, and even in our own school, we now offer a Black history course.
A lot of advancements have been made for Black Americans in the academics field, but there's still a long way to go. Next week, we're going to be talking about Black Americans in athletics, and you can reach out to any of our teachers such as Mrs. Jones, Ms. Pilati, and Ms. Blavelt, or other trusted adults in our school to reach out and talk about the athletics field, or if you want to be featured or have any information that you would want to talk about.
Hi everyone, my name's Stephanie and I'm the junior class president. I am so excited to work with such amazing officers and to do my best to make sure you all have a memorable year despite the circumstances. We have some really cool ideas and we can't wait to share with you guys. So yeah, stay tuned and stay safe.
Hey guys, it's your junior class vice president, Katrina. I'm more than excited to make the best out of our junior year, even with the circumstances given. I know this past year has been extremely difficult, but I hope this new semester will treat us all really good.
Hi, my name is Nikhil and I'm the junior class treasurer. I'm so excited to help accomplish all the goals set for this year with my fellow officers. We hope to make the rest of this year as eventful as possible.
Hi, my name is Ishander and I am junior class secretary. We have some really cool events planned up ahead and I look forward to seeing you guys take part.
Ms. D, do you know what time it is now?
I think we know what time it is, Mr. Bergando. One of my favorite times. I think it's time for Mr. Bergando's word of the day.
Word of the day, that's right. And today's word is auspicious. That means showing or suggesting that future success is likely. It was an auspicious start to the game. Now, Ms. D, do you know what time it is?
I do believe, because I think I follow you every week. So I think it might be time for Mrs. D's thought of the day. So continuing with us honoring in February, Black History Month, I actually have a very famous quote from the very famous African-American poet Maya Angelou. All right. And in her words, if you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. So some good thoughts, some good things to think about, and think outside the box, go outside your comfort zone. You're all amazing. Find your talent and relish in it.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. D. Please excuse the interruption. We have just a few announcements today. Any sophomore who has taken driver's education this past fall should have received correspondence regarding the driver's ed exam that will be taken next week. That's for sophomores that have taken driver's ed this past fall. Also, everyone should have received correspondence from Mr. Pastorino regarding a survey about the return to hybrid instruction in March. Please take a minute to review this. If you have any questions, please ask. Now, From Camelot Corner, we have a special guest today, and Clara is going to tell us a little bit about that. Take it away, Clara.
Hi, John F. Kennedy Memorial High School students. My name is Clara, and I am on the yearbook staff for 2021's yearbook. We are currently working very hard to bring you the best yearbook that we can in these trying circumstances, and we hope that you're all excited to see what we produce. If you're planning on buying a yearbook, now would be a great time to do so. Our books are selling out fast, and we don't want you to miss a single thing. If you want to buy a yearbook, you can visit yearbookordercenter.com. Our code is 21520. Furthermore, if you wish to purchase an ad, our ad sale ends March 1st. So you can get your parents, guardians to get an ad in there for you. Please keep checking your grade level Google Classroom. We are always posting content in there so you can upload your photos. Currently, most recently, we are collecting your snow pictures. So if you have any fun in the snow, please send them in. We'll love to see those photos. You can visit hjeshare.com and send us some love. Seniors, we want your baby photos and your activity list. Please fill out the Google form on your Google Classroom to participate. To all club advisors, we need your Google Slides by February 16th. And sport coaches, you know what you need to do. It is due by March 1st. And lastly, please follow our Instagram and Twitter for all our updates.
Great job, Clara.
Thank you very much. Well, Ms. D, I think that's about it for today's show.
Really, Mr. B, already?
It is. I believe it is. I think it was another great show.
Another great show. You know, we're cutting the fat. We're getting right to the point, getting that information out to our students, to their families, you know, keeping everybody up to date on everything going on, you know, at the great JFK Memorial High School. So we'll be back again next week, you know, with some more JFK news, but it was great to be with you today. And, you know, hopefully the weather will hold and spring is right around the corner. So Mr. B, on that, you know, there's only one thing left to say, right?
Last thing.
You can count it down if you want. If not, I'll count it down, but
here we go.
Go ahead.
3. 1, 2, 3. Go,
Go Mustangs! Great job, everybody. We'll see you again next week.
See you next week.
Wise with goals and dreams and knowledge deep and strong.